So today we're learning how in the Zohar Parsha Pinchas it says the letter Yud of Shaddai, Shin Daled Yud, is a ring halter lowered onto the neck of the demon. Shaddai is one of Hashem's names, often pronounced as Shakai, and the demon is the evil inclination, to prevent it from harming people. And this is as David said, tehillim 22:21. The quote from King David in tehillim 22:21 is, "Deliver my life from the sword, my only one from the power of the dog." So it says the evil inclination is a serpent, a dog, a lion, about which David said he lies in wait secretly, like a lion in his den. And or in the words of the prophet, a bear, as is written, he is a bear lying in wait, and like a lion in secret places. And is likened to all the animals, namely is likened to all the beasts of prey. The likeness is drawn for each person according to his sins, but this already has been clarified. There's something I want to share, which is like the idea of aid, a witness. Ayin is one of the letters, and Dalet is another letter. Ayin, and this is from Beryl Keller. So Ayin, he's just a man. I mean, he's a Yud, not just a man. He's a person who shared this. Ayin is like the eye, it means in Hebrew, and door is Dalet. So the door of the eye is that observation is creation. Think it to make it real. And there's this teaching from the Lubavitcher rebbe, which is Trach gut v'zayin gut. Think good and it will be good. In other words, think it to make it be. And then we have Irwin Schrödinger, who talks about here but not here. It's the idea of the cat, right? It's either alive or it's dead. Basically, it could be somewhere in the middle. And there's this Kabbalah concept, which is mati v'lo mati, here and not here. Like, it's not here and it's not here. It's an alternative. So I was in a 12-step meeting. I wanted to learn about, for myself in many ways, like the different parts. And so I was reading. This is from their writings. This is not. Basically, this is 12-step literature. It's from the first bite. That's what the literature is called. In many ways, we're made up of different parts. The conscious mind, the one that is reading this now or listening, the one that wants to stay clean, abstinent, is like the main actor in a play. However, there's many supporting players in there as well. More subtle than dissociative identity disorder. We start life with just oneself, the being we're meant to be. However, we keep adding components and threads of the disease. In other words, we develop characters in response to different events. Some events more banal, and some lowercase t trauma, and some upper capital T trauma. And there's a saying, the child is the father of man. It's also the father of most of our defects. And thinking of hunger panic, the idea that anxiety bordering on panic, like I've forgotten I have a long way to go before I'll ever starve to death. It's irrational. It comes from early life with a neglectful or addict parent. In the pre-verbal stage, at a very young age, there's no real discrimination between real discomforts and actual threats, as the emergence of the first added thread, this new thread of the self. We continue to grow and develop mentally with the essential self. We're born with one that's in charge of our life, but the panic event was stamped into the brain. While there was one me in there, until that moment, there's now two of me, God forbid. I'm just reading. The main self was continuing down the road of normal emotional growth. However, the other was also resonant within me. Stuck at that time and at that age, as an adult, occasionally that panic thread is triggered. And the panic child, but I don't want to say it's just hunger panic. For me, this was like, I had episodes of this with somebody I met. It kept coming, like the bond, like when I felt they were distant, I felt really like I would like starve to death from connection, like not having the connection I need, safety. So the panicked child rushes to the forefront, trying to elbow out the logical, reasonable, true self to make us relive the terror of that moment on a totally subconscious level. Another possible cause of panic can come from growing up in traumatic situations, such as extreme poverty or somewhere that might have interrupted food supplies, even a war zone. This could instill a mentality of grab it while you can, because you don't know when you'll be able to get it again. More from the Zohar Parsha Pinchas, continuing what we just learned before. The evil inclination is a dog, a serpent, a braying donkey, onto which the soul is mounted, and as soon as it is written about him, his rider shall fall backwards That's Genesis bereishis 49:17. It's the secret of the matter, as if in devarim 22:8 it says, if any man fall from it. For this reason, in Job, iyov 12:3, it says, I'm not inferior to you, the literal rendition is that it'll fall from you. But the righteous person who rides on it binds it with the knot of the tefillin straps, the sign of the tefillin, which is the letter yud of the shaddai, the shindal yud of being the ring, the halter on the neck, while the shin of the tefillin is a chain on its neck. I want to share more quotes from the Zohar, but this time I'm not going to, in the sources, which I'll list, I won't write every single one of these. I'm going to say them now, but actually they're all compiled from somebody on Instagram, Michael Max. Michael Machs. Quotes from the Zohar. Zohar Shemos 100b. Nothing, no matter how small, is ever lost in the universe. Zohar Shemos 162b. Everything in the world depends on desire. Zohar Vayikra 48a. A person doesn't know the taste of sweetness till he tastes bitterness. Zohar Shemot 22a. Whoever places their trust and strength in the Creator properly, no person in the world can harm them. Zohar Bamidbar 189a. There are 7 heavens. Zohar bereishis 86b. Awakening from above depends on the yearning from below. Zohar Bamidbar 225a. The divine surrounds all worlds and fills all worlds. Zohar Vayikra 95a. If you open for me an opening of the size of a pinhole, I'll open for you supernal gates. Zohar bereishis 160a. When the verse says war, it refers to the inner battle with the opponent. Zohar Shemos 29b. Rachel and Leah, 2 of the matriarchs of the Jewish nation, and married to Jacob, the grandson of Avram, the first Jew. Also, you would say the father of all the Christians and Muslims. Okay, they represent 2 worlds, Rachel and Leah, the hidden world and the revealed world. Finally, today we'll learn. There are 2 accounts on Instagram that I'm going to share from. One is relationship _ help 90s. The first one. The second one is the secure relationship. So men are inspired by challenge, women flourish with consistency. He's energized by pursuit. She grows with their stability. When you recognize the differences, conflict turn into understanding. You stop reacting defensively and you start loving intentionally. Men desire appreciation.